Hey YouTubers, Mr. Wilson, the car guy here, coming at you with a video on how to change your clock spring on a Toyota 4Runner. This is a 2014. Didn't see too many videos on this particular subject that were any good, at least. This customer was complaining their horn wasn't working in the center, but would work left and right. That's a common thing from what I'm hearing on these Toyotas. Probably the second one I've done, but this is the first 4Runner I've done of this generation. This is the later generation. This one has the nice and expensive clock spring. Wait till you hear the list on this. But before I start, you need to disconnect your battery. That's the most important thing. You're going to come on over here and you're going to disconnect your negative 10 millimeter. Lots of corrosion on this puppy. We're to clean that up before we put her back together. Anyhow, I've already got the new clock spring on. I'm going to give you the quick and dirty. Since I have this all apart on how to do this, it's really simple if you know what to do. And one note before you go any further, you need a steering wheel puller to do this job, like so. There's some videos out there with guys skipping over that step. I don't quite understand how you would complete this job without a steering wheel puller. Just stupidity that there's YouTube videos, misinformation out there. But I'm going to give you everything you need to know and the tools you need, which aren't a whole lot. Anyhow, pretty simple. Once you disconnect that your battery, you're going to remove the airbag off the steering wheel so you get access to everything else you need to disconnect. To do that, it's really simple. On the left side of the steering wheel, you got this cap right here. You're going to pop that out. Using a pick tool, it just snaps in. You also have a cap on the right hand side. You're going to pop that out also. They're pretty self-explanatory. When you look at them, you see the cutouts. The reason why you take those cutouts out, because you need to get to the airbag screws, which are right there. Get one on each side. T30 Torx will get those out. The screws do not come out. That plastic housing holds them in there. You're just going to loosen them up far enough so they disconnect from the airbag. Once you do that, you're going to pull the airbag down forward like so. So once you pull the airbag down, you're going to have these airbag harnesses connected to the airbag. Now, there's also a gray wire that will need to be disconnected. That's really self-explanatory. It's on the back of the steering wheel. You can't miss that. Now these clips right here, you don't just pry on them and pull them off. You need to unlock them. And how you unlock them is you can take a pick. Well, my light is blinding us over here. Let's see if I can get that angle. There you go. You can put this pick under here and you're going to pry up on these yellow covers. Those are the locks, safety locks. You don't disconnect those, you start prying on crap, you're going to snap these connectors. Once you get these locks in an upper position, then you can take a little flathead underneath and they'll pop right off the airbag. So you're good to go. You disconnect that. You've got a steering wheel harness in here that you're going to disconnect from here and here, and then you are going to set up your steering wheel puller, which is, I'm going to give you the quick and dirty on this steering wheel puller because this is pretty darn simple. You're going to put your acorn on the end right here, and then this particular one, you don't use the triangle, you use the flats. And you'll put your two screws there, and then you'll start tightening down your 14 millimeter, which is what this is. And the steering wheel will pop and it'll come off. Now, before you loosen that, I'd recommend that you get your Sharpie out and mark the steering shaft. And that way you'll get a better idea with the shaft and the steering wheel. I've got marks right there. That way when you go to put it back on, you won't be off a tooth. You know, people say that as long as this is in the center of the steering wheel right here, you'll be lined up. You could still be off a tooth. So, you know, that's a little good extra protection, so you're not off a tooth in your steering, and then your steering wheel's crooked when you're done with this job. So once you have the steering wheel off, this is the old one, so I'm throwing this thing around. Here's your part number right here. There is an actual superseded part number. Some have this old supply, some have the new supply. This guy is expensive. Out of all the Toyota clock springs I see in the market, this is $700 list. If you've got a wholesale hookup, you may get it for $500, or you can take your chances with the $50 eBay ones that they sell. But keep in mind, this controls your airbags, a whole bunch of other items, your steering angle, and your horn, which was nice to keep that working. So anyhow, this guy snaps in. There's no bolts or nothing. You got to snap here, and you've got to snap here, and you got to snap on top. So all you do with those is just put your finger on, pull down, and pull down on the top one right there, and she will pull out. Of course, you have the 3 harnesses to disconnect at the bottom. You got the black plug. Yikes, let me get my light centered. You got your black plug here, comes right out. You've got your airbag plug, which has a safety clip that you have to push in order to pull it out. And then you have the blue plug, which is a simple press pin. You don't disconnect the white one. And that sucker will pop out. Now, to put it back in, you just push in, snap. Make sure that this guy stays centered. Do not pull this yellow tab out until you get this on and aligned. They put this on here from the factory so that this doesn't spin around and go out of 180, 360 degrees, wherever you want to call it. So once you get everything on here, you're going to break this snap off, which sounds crazy to do something like that, but you can see from the factory they do the same thing. There's the remnants of when they snapped off. So anyhow, one part I did miss is you have a bolt here and here. These are 2 Phillips that I should have showed you earlier in the process. Before you pull the steering wheel off, you're going to need to turn the steering wheel 180 to see these bolts. They're 2 Phillips. You unscrew them, you take them out. That way you can separate these 2 shrouds. You get a flathead in between, and they just snap apart once you get those 2 bolts. But if you don't get those 2 bolts off, they're not snapping apart very well for you. So I think that just about covers everything you need to know. The rest of this is really simple. It is a reverse of taking apart. The install is the opposite, so it's not very difficult at all. If this video helped you out, click the like and subscribe buttons. Good luck.